Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. A hole is found under the track where a train derailed in Cumbria. There were no injuries, but an investigation is now underway. Also tonight, the ice cream vans serving up a lifeline for some of Liverpool's most deprived areas. We'll hear why memorial benches could be replaced by trees in Blackpool.
I love the idea of planting trees, but from my point of view, I can't sit up a tree.
And how we sent this picture in of the windmill in Lytham, beautiful blue sky. How are we doing tomorrow? Are we going to see more of the same? Well, join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the details.
Residents living near to where a train derailed this morning say they'd feared an accident could happen there. Operator Northern says 4 passengers and 4 members of staff were on board when it came off the tracks near Grange-over-Sands. Everyone was safely escorted off the train. An investigation is now underway, as our transport correspondent Judy Hobson reports.
It was just after 6 o'clock this morning when this train heading into Grange-over-Sands came off the track. On board were 4 members of staff and 4 passengers. No one was injured. Witnesses told us they heard a loud bang and saw smoke. Soon afterwards, passengers were helped off the train.
Well, it looked like they were coming down a stepladder, and it looked like they were being walked down very, very carefully. And of course, it's very wet and quite boggy up on the bank there. So they were being kind of, ferried across the bank, making sure that it weren't going to slip off.
Everybody seemed to be okay because I watched the fire service take people off by ladder. There was no stretchers or anything, but it was 30 minutes before the emergency services arrived.
Investigations are continuing, but Network Rail says a hole in the ground has opened up about 150 metres from where the train derailed, which they say is unusual in its nature.
As we understand at the moment, there's a void that's formed underneath the track, and as a result of that, the track hasn't been held where it should be, and that's caused the train to leave the tracks.
What caused this void isn't clear, but the ground here is very wet. This wall was originally built to protect the track from the sea. Do you think that if the wall hadn't been there, this could have been a much more serious accident?
I can't say, I don't know. I think it's likely that it would have remained up where it should have been, but can't say for certain.
Next to the track is this golf course, which has been underwater for many weeks. Some residents say they feared an accident might happen here due to the volume of water on the embankment.
There's a lot of water underneath the track. It has been a concern that, the whole of the track is not very stable. And they have done regular checks. And I think there was a check done recently that was supposed to be okay. But suddenly we've got this happening today. A train coming off there could have been very, very dangerous, particularly if it had been one of the trains that was going up to the power station.
I don't believe it could have been foreseen. It's difficult to say, noting that climate change is having a big impact on us, and it's evolving its impact on the railway and, as we know, the society in general.
Well, this track will be closed for a few days now while investigations continue, and then, of course, the repairs are made.
No trains are currently running between Barrow in Furness and Lancaster. Judy Hobson, BBC North West Tonight, Grange-over-Sands.
A teenager's been arrested after a 13-year-old girl was knocked down and seriously hurt by a scrambler bike as she crossed the road in Burnley. She's being treated in hospital after the incident on Briarcliff Road in the Duke Bar area yesterday afternoon. A 19-year-old man is being held on suspicion of causing serious injury by dangerous driving. A karate champion regarded as a hero by his students in Liverpool has been found guilty of sexually assaulting teenage boys. 80-year-old Andrew Sherry, founder of the Red Triangle Club in Everton, was convicted of 4 assaults on a boy aged under 16 in 2011 and 2012 and assaulting another boy 40 years ago. He was released on bail to be sentenced on May the 1st. Police are offering a £50,000 reward to track down the man who killed 26-year-old Robert Hall at Manchester's Parklife Festival almost 10 years ago. Robert Hart died from head injuries 4 days after he was struck by a single punch in June 2014. Detectives have spoken to more than 200 potential suspects and witnesses, but no one has ever been caught. A gang whose drugs operation ended in one of the UK's largest seizures of heroin and cocaine has been jailed for a total of 55 years. 4 men smuggled 2 tons of drugs with a street value of £250 million concealed in trailers from Europe. It's being described as the region's biggest investigation of its kind. Paresh Patel reports.
This is the innocuous-looking trailer at the heart of an international drug smuggling network. Instead of vehicles, it was carrying hundreds of kilos of concealed cocaine and heroin. But the gang of 4 were under surveillance by the North West Regional Crime Squad's Operation Falcon. Officers watched as the trailer brought in its consignment to this farm in North Wales on 9 separate occasions in just 4 months. It led to the largest seizure of drugs ever in the UK.
It is a standout case. The individuals involved in this conspiracy were involved in the importation of in the excess of £250 million worth of Class A drugs into the UK.
Police say this organised crime gang operated on an international level. They believe the drugs were sourced from South America and shipped to the Middle East and then smuggled in trailers across Europe and through the Channel Tunnel and onto the North West.
We know that these individuals were involved extensively with networks of other organised crime groups, not just in the UK but abroad, as far away as Dubai and the United Arab Emirates, where we believe individuals who've orchestrated some of this criminality were based.
The gang supplied the drugs to lower-level dealers in Merseyside and across the UK. Guy Remington was the driver of the trailer. Luke Hurst sorted and repackaged the drugs at the farm for onward distribution, while Thomas Smith and Morgan Towner were couriers who delivered the drugs. Police raids uncovered almost £1 million in cash at the homes of the 4 men. They say convicting the gang will help disrupt criminality at street level.
The selling of drugs, cocaine, heroin, Class A distribution causes significant harm in our communities, whether that be increasing levels of crime, increasing levels of serious violence or the exploitation of vulnerable and young people.
The 4 men have been jailed for a total of 55 years at Chester Crown Court. Paresh Patel, BBC North West Tonight.
Well, next to the woman who has made it her mission to feed families in need across Liverpool from an ice cream van. Michelle Roach repurposed the bright yellow truck nearly 2 years ago and has helped 30,000 people across the city. But funding, or a lack of it, means it could be at risk. Our social affairs correspondent, Abby Jones, has been to see the van in action.
Like most ice cream vans, it attracts quite a queue. But this truck's chillers are filled with meat and frozen food. Its shelves with soup, toiletries and veg.
How's the baby? Yeah, so good.
Its customers relying on what it sells, 10 items for a £5, to feed their families.
We went to just the shop over the road the other day. It was £20 for a tub of formula. So it's extortionate to buy anything at the minute. So this van really helped you? Even with toiletries and toilet rolls and everything, each week there's something that'll help everybody.
It's a godsend. To people on low income like myself, I'm a pensioner. It's brilliant because it gives you a sense of community, gives you the chance to come out, meet people.
What do you think of it being an ice cream van? Have you ever seen an ice cream van before?
Never before, but believe me, it's amazing what the bargains you can find in an ice cream van.
Here's yours, my love.
I just thought it was a great idea. It's something that's approachable, and I just thought it was something that people would be happy to go to. Dignity is #1 for us, and we want people to not be shy approaching the van, to not feel embarrassed, and people have good memories of ice cream vans.
Michelle Roach is the force behind the project, set up through her Liverpool community interest company, New Beginnings Improving Lives. It also runs a community store,
Because I haven't seen you for a couple of months.
mental health support groups and an emergency food bank. Michelle says she's been where many of her customers are today. When her son was 7 months, she was diagnosed with cancer. She'd already lost her job. When she got back on her feet, she wanted to help others.
I know hardship. We had times when we couldn't afford bread, and we had days where we had no electricity, no gas. So yeah, it was really, really, really tough. So I do understand how people are feeling.
So does driver Morlan, who came to New Beginnings needing help himself and then became a volunteer.
I know it's like not to have any food in. Literally, I only had a couple of pounds in my pocket to last, a week until my next bit of money came in. There's been a few times where I've been running late because I've had problems with the van, and they've actually phoned up New Beginnings and asked, "Where are you? Are you? I know what's the problem. Where's Morlan?" So that's when it's more obvious that they're actually desperate for me to turn up.
The ice cream van serves 200 people a week. It's fed almost 30,000 since it launched 2 years ago, but its future could be in jeopardy. New Beginnings relies on the Household Support Fund, a government grant given to local authorities which distribute it to families in need and groups that help them. But there's been no commitment to extend it beyond the autumn. How worried are you?
Extremely, extremely. Doesn't bear thinking about, does it? It really doesn't. So we're OK up until September. After that, we're going to have to look to cut services or, cut at least one of the schemes that we do. But you've seen yourself how many people it'll affect, so it's really hard.
People like this mum who wants to talk anonymously. She's been using the van since it started up.
It's a lifeline, it is. It's a top up through the week. I'm working, I've got 4 kids and they eat me out of house and home. My mortgage doubled last March, so it went from like £600 to £1,200 a month. So things like this really do help towards everything.
Abby Jones, BBC North West Tonight, Liverpool.
Now, in parks across the country, benches bear the names of lost loved ones. But in Blackpool, the council wants to end the memorials in favour of trees instead. So what do people think of the idea? Well, Phil McCann went to find out.
Ron and Pauline were married for 27 years until Ron died of cancer in 1999. Now Pauline and their son Luke remember him with a bench right by the athletics track in Stanley Park, where Ron coached hundreds of local young people. It was paid for by Ron's former workplace.
It's important to me because they must have thought a lot about him.
Well, it's a living legacy from my dad.
Yeah.
My dad had cancer for 10 years and coached thousands of kids' athletics.
Yes, he did.
There are similar stories linked to benches right across this park and across Blackpool, which on a day like today are well used.
There was lots of floral tributes last weekend over Mothering Sunday. It's just a shame to lose it.
Stephen sees what the benches mean to people every day from the cafe in Stanley Park, where he works.
I mean, there's floral tributes behind you on the bench that I can see from here. I mean, it's for nothing, really, is it? I mean, it's just a bit of respect for some elderly people that have passed on.
Blackpool Council is going to keep maintaining all of the memorial benches it currently maintains, but it doesn't want any more. Instead, from March, it'll offer memorial trees. New trees planted in parks, which would be cheaper for bereaved families and cheaper for the council to maintain.
A report by Blackpool Council says that other tree planting partnerships in other parts of the country have been successful. It also says that there is limited space if it were to continue installing all of the benches that there's a demand for, and it says that the cost of maintaining them would be considerable.
I love the idea of planting trees, but from my point of view, I can't sit up a tree and look at the track and create the legacy we've created. So I think it's a great idea, but give people choice.
The council says memorial trees will bring environmental benefits, as well as providing a long-standing memorial for the public to enjoy and see grow. Phil McCann, BBC North West Tonight, Blackpool.
Now, look at that. Aren't you a fan of a nice, steaming, buttery baked potato? Well, potato purveyors in Preston, the Spud Brothers, certainly are, and have quite a following on social media. Well, now they're using that to help raise money for a mum who's been left partially blind by the devastating effects of a brain tumour, as Eunice Muller reports.
Oh, I'll go for extra large, minute.
Extra large?
Yeah.
Fancy a baked potato and you're in Preston? TikTok will tell you. How about the Spud Brothers? This video has been viewed more than 20 million times. And now they plan to stay open and serving until Saturday evening.
It's comfort food, isn't it, a jacket potato? And we take pride in our work and we make sure every single jacket potato is spot on. The end goal is make us all happy and what pushes us on.
Jordan Jones is the reason why. She was diagnosed with a brain tumour back in 2021. Her current treatment is not funded within the NHS.
I've absolutely loved it. Just to see the community come together has been great, because it's very rare you see that. So she had both rounds last year and it really did reduce the swelling. So now we're raising money again, that if she needs it again then coming towards the end of May, beginning of June, we've got the money and the funds ready.
And all eyes, of course, are on this tyre. 226 kilograms, that's 36 stone. That man is going to be flipping the tyre 10,000 times. Well, let me have a go. I think the only flipping coming out of me here today is a flipping heck.
3, 2, 1. Off you go, Bill, lad. There he goes. Come on, Bill.
He already holds the world record for flipping a tyre non-stop for 24 hours.
It's a mind over matter kind of task, and sometimes you've got to grit down on your teeth and just sail through the, because you get some dark moments in these kind of challenges. Once I get going into a routine, I'm all right. I have my music on and just going away. But listen, I have a back of my mind, like obviously my mum passed away, so I try and do her proud and stuff.
And this evening there will be a crowd.
Our barber, he comes religiously every single day, and obviously because he's fasting he can't, so we just had the idea, it's like, we'll open up then, we'll cater for you.
We're liking everything that they're doing, really. It's a huge jump for Spud Brothers, yeah.
Are you going to be there for iftar tonight then?
Yes, I am. I can't wait.
Your first time?
First time, yep. I'm excited.
You're doing an amazing job for charity as well, so all helps, doesn't it?
You're open for 36 hours?
I believe so, yeah. I can't say 36 hours.
Lunch, tea or breakfast, for now, all served here. Jonas Muller, BBC Northwest Tonight, Preston.
Well, as a Preston lad, you'll know that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, they're delicious.
Well, I might eat them if they mean I can lift up a tyre like that.
Not that Eunice could.
No, poor Eunice. Richard is here with the sport, as you can see. And Richard, there's no Premier League or Championship because of the international break, but that's good in a way because it gives us more time to look at some of the different clubs, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Like,
some big games for our League 1 and 2 clubs, Annabelle. But as you say, it's a chance for our non-league sides to have their moment in the spotlight. It is annual non-league day, which is aimed at encouraging fans whose teams aren't playing to cheer on their local lower league club. One of those is Altrincham, who after some very tough times are in National League playoff contention and face a crucial match tomorrow against a team directly below them, Gateshead.
With crowds continuing to rise, often well above 2,000, Altrincham is a club on the up.
We're really proud to be associated with Altrincham. I always say Altringham's our town and we're their football club. And for Saturday, it's so much more than not watching the Premier League. It's about coming to us, it's about embracing the community.
And trying one of our new cakes there.
The town's business community is doing its bit as well, with many getting on board to paint the town red ahead of tomorrow's big game. Dom and Marta Richards own and run this busy cafe in the town centre.
It's great that the football club's becoming part of the community again.
I'm so proud of the club and the achievement of the club do now at this moment in time, and I'm just like 100% behind them.
To many football fans, Altrincham are non-league's cup kings, with lots of major scalps to their name. This was Alty beating Scunthorpe United, which earned them a trip to Liverpool in the early 1980s. But now it's trying to get into the Football League for the first time. That is very much the focus, under a manager who's steered the Robins to 2 promotions already.
I'm delighted. This is our second full season of full time. We've taken great strides, and the players have stepped up to the expectations every season.
This is a club that has come such a long way in recent seasons. They've got 4 huge games coming up now as well, which will determine whether they finish in the playoffs, starting with Gateshead here tomorrow and then ending with a huge game against Oldham Athletic. The Latics, of course, also trying to finish in the playoffs on Easter Monday.
The club is also building for the future, with £1.5 million invested by over 20 businessmen and women last year alone.
Been amazing, and it'll be used in various different ways around this, the stadium, back of house, front of house, which is obviously football.
And for long-standing supporters, these are heady days.
Going back some years, it was difficult to find some people who would know that there was a football club in Altrincham. It's totally different now. Real sense that things are starting to happen here.
And with good form going into this crucial part of the campaign, there's growing belief that Alty's Football League dream may not be too far away.
Great to see Alty on the up. Best of luck to all of our non-league sides, of course. Boxing now. Campbell Hatton, the son of Manchester boxing legend Ricky, could follow in his dad's footsteps tomorrow by winning the same title Ricky did at the start of his career a decade and a half ago. 23-year-old Campbell, who's unbeaten in 14 professional fights, takes on Jimmy Joe Flint for the Central Area Light Welterweight belt at the Utilita Arena in Sheffield. Best of luck to Campbell. Three of our sides are in Challenge Cup action tonight, with Salford at Hull KR, St Helens at Leeds and Wigan Warriors at home to Sheffield Eagles. The Holders Lee Leopards have to wait until tomorrow to start the defence of their trophy. The Leopards are at home to Featherstone Rovers, with Warrington Wolves taking on London Broncos in the tea-time kick-off. And in rugby union, Sale Sharks return to action. After an 8-week break for the Six Nations, the Sharks travel to Bath, looking to end a run of 5 defeats in a row. It's the first game as well since England star Manu Tuilangi announced he's leaving the club at the end of the season. He'll be missed, Annabelle. Should mention a couple of really big games as well in the WSL. Both the Manchester and Merseyside derbies take place this weekend.
Wonderful. Richard, thank you very, very much. Now, since Kay launched Love Where You Live, she has been inundated with suggestions of places that you love, from the seaside to rural towns and inner cities. She's told us all about why she loves her hometown of Marple, and she spent time getting to know the locals in Newton-le-Willows with Angela. And this week, she got in the car, armed with a cossie, and headed to the coast.
Home to a bay that measures 200 square miles, this town has magnificent views of the Lakeland Mountains. In fact, it is only 2 miles south of the Cumbrian border. In the mid-20th century, it was a thriving seaside resort.
You can keep Silverstone, this is the real thing.
In Latin, the name was given as Moricambris Estuaris, meaning estuaries on a curved sea. Yes, if you haven't already worked it out, we're in Morecambe.
John, you recommended Morecambe because you love where you live. Yep. What is so good about it?
For me, it's the open space. Got green space, got Happy Mount Park down the road. Got a view across there of the lakes, but the sea's the main thing for me. I just love swimming here, and I set up the swimming group Mallows, hoping to find people to swim with, and we've got a great community of people together. I just can't imagine living anywhere else now. Now I've got a taste for this. It's just the perfect place to live, I think.
One of Morecambe's most famous landmarks was unveiled by the Queen in 1999. A larger-than-life statue of Eric Morecambe, holding binoculars. But why? Well, it turns out he was a keen ornithologist, which means he liked birds.
I'm playing all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order.
Keeping watch over the town for more than 3 decades has been the Old Pier Bookshop, now run by Tony.
In the past, we'd have other things in the bay. We had an old sailing ship called Moby Dick, then the pier, which in summer worked till 2:30 in the morning. We held the heats and the final for Miss Great Britain in the Super Swimming Stadium.
The girl who thought she was too chubby to stand a chance won for herself £2,000, a £500 watch and a tour of Britain. Please, Wendy, don't diet.
We had a bit of a downturn, maybe hit bottom about 25 years ago, but now things are looking better. Every single year is busier than the year before. And now with the advent of the Eden North project coming to Morecambe, things are looking up.
For the members of Mallow's swimming group, there's nowhere they would rather be.
Morecambe, I love it. I was born and bred here. And what don't you like about this? It's stunning.
I've got all this freedom of the sea and the promenade. Even if you're fed up, you can get out and get some fresh air and a good walk in all weathers.
And of course, we had to take a dip.
You don't need any encouragement, do you, to get in a cosy and get in freezing cold water? And I bet it was freezing in Morecambe.
Oh, it was so cold. It was beautiful day, but it was windy. It was cold.
It's beautiful though, that coastline.
Gorgeous.
It's just lovely, isn't
and when John emailed say he loved where he lived and he mentioned the swimming, I thought, I'm in, John, I'm in. Maybe you love where you live. And if you do, please do send me an email because me and you could hang out for the day. Now, my email is k.crewdson@bbc.co.uk. Drop me an email, tell me why you love where you live, and then I'll come out and see you, hopefully. So how's it been today? Well, actually, a lot of blue sky. Gorgeous picture Roberto sent in Knutsford. Thanks for sending that one in. Now, we did see a little bit more in the way of cloud in Sefton. But equally, we did see some spells of sunshine. Now, tomorrow you will see some spells of sunshine at times, but it's going to be a showery day and a windy day, but much calmer to come on Sunday. All the while, it's going to feel cold. We've got this northwesterly air blowing through, and this occluded front through tomorrow is going to give us some quite sharp showers. And actually, for Cumbria and parts of Lancashire, they could be hail and thunder in the mix. And then this arrives, but not until Monday. So as we head through this evening, if you are heading out, it's quite windy out and about. We have got some showers. Some of those are quite heavy. Over the tops, if you are commuting overnight over the hills, they will be wintry in nature. Now, wind gusts overnight, about 40 to 50 miles per hour in some spots. Temperatures down to between about 3 and 5 degrees. So it's going to be a blustery start to your day tomorrow morning, and the day tomorrow will feel cold because of that wind. Now, we're looking at variable cloud through the morning, sunny spells, scattered showers, more in the way of cloud through the afternoon, and sharper showers arriving later. Again, like I said, the risk of hail and thunder. Still blustery with gusts of around 40 miles per hour. Temperatures 9 degrees. It will feel colder than that. Low pressure remains in charge. So for Monday, we're looking at more in the way of rain, and into Tuesday, calmer but quite cloudy, but low pressure always waiting out in the wind, so it is going to stay unsettled. Sunday, though, isn't looking too bad. It'll be a windy start. As we go through the morning, the winds will ease down. We are looking at a predominantly dry day with variable cloud, spells of sunshine, and because there's more in the way of sunshine, we should get 11 degrees. Like I said, the winds will ease down, and then we're talking about the risk of rain through Monday, highs of 10 degrees, Annabelle.
Thank you. This is the first time in me, in this little temporary bijou.
Get up close and personal. It's very comfy and cosy, isn't it?
It's very cosy, and I like it because I can read the autocue without having to squint and have my contact lenses in.
Works for everyone.
I love it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.